Hey guys, happy Wednesday and happy International Hat Day. To be honest, I don't actually even know why today is International Hat Day. I think there's some sort of cause that you wear a hat to rally behind or support, but I'm not sure. Anyways, I'm wearing a hat. That's actually no different than any other day of the week because I wear a hat every day when I'm recording these videos, mostly just because I want to hide an awful haircut I gave myself a few weeks ago because my barber shop is closed down during this COVID pandemic. Anyways, wearing a hat, nothing new there. But anyways, guys, today your lesson is about vertical and horizontal. Okay, so you've probably heard these words before. By the end of today's class, you should be able to explain what vertical and horizontal mean, and you should also be able to identify which sides of a polygon are vertical and horizontal. Okay, so when I look at this word here, horizontal, I actually see a root word in this word that looks a lot like another word in English that I know, the horizon. The horizon, if I were to tell you to look off into the horizon, that would be the line where the sky and the land meet. So I'm going to do my best here. Let's not do blue because that's the same color as the water. But the horizon would be this line right here that runs all the way across this picture where the sky and the water meet. Okay, so that's the horizon. And so the definition of horizontal is a line that's parallel, or it doesn't even necessarily have to be a line, but something that's parallel to the plane of the horizon. And of course, I think it was yesterday, maybe it was 2 days ago now, we learned about parallel. Parallel lines are lines that run alongside each other and they never meet. They never cross each other, okay? So on the next slide here, I've added a few red lines here, and both of these red lines are horizontal lines. They're both parallel or run alongside this line of our horizon, okay? It's probably important to note that these horizontal lines can be anywhere on this page. They don't necessarily have to be right beside a horizon. They can be way up here. They can be way down here in the water. But as long as they're running in the same direction as the horizon here, we would say that they're horizontal. Okay. Vertical is kind of the opposite of horizontal. Vertical are objects that run perpendicular to the plane of the horizon. So we learned the other day that perpendicular means it forms a 90-degree angle. So if I were to draw a line that runs straight up the page here, and this forms a 90-degree angle with my horizon, then we would say that this line is vertical. It runs straight up and down, okay? So very conveniently, I found this photo. It does a great job of showing you the horizon, but there's also a boat floating right in the middle of this picture here, and this boat has a mast. The mast is where you would fly your sails from on the boat, and this mast is vertical, whereas the surface of the boat would be horizontal. Okay, so again, just like I did for horizontal, I threw a few red lines on this slide here. These both are vertical lines. They're both at 90-degree angles to the horizon. And again, it doesn't matter where these lines are. They could intersect the horizon. They could be floating way up here in the sky or way down here in the water. No matter how they're oriented or whether there's an intersection there, they're still vertical lines. Now, just in my research on this topic, I found this interesting little article. Some smart guy at some university did a study about how people hold their phones. So there's the vertical orientation of holding your phone, where your phone is pointing straight up and down, or there's the horizontal orientation of your phone, where it's running from side to side, kind of like the horizon. And it turns out that normal people, I shouldn't say that, most people hold their phones in the vertical orientation like this. Strange people, maybe that's you, hold their devices like this to type text messages or whatever you do on your phones. So that was just kind of a fun little thing that I thought applied to vertical and horizontal. Okay, so yeah, just to recap here, vertical goes straight up and down, horizontal goes straight across from left to right. So we can apply this concept to shapes. If we're talking about a rectangle here, rectangles have edges, which is some more terminology that we learned earlier this week, 4 edges to be exact. Now, 2 of these edges we would call the horizontal edges, the ones that run across. So the top and the bottom edge are horizontal, and then two of these edges are vertical. So the left and the right side of my rectangle here would be my vertical edges. So you may see at some point a question that looks like this. What are the vertical dimensions of this rectangle? And so knowing what you know about our terminology today, you should hopefully know that vertical is up and down. And so we can just read that number right off of this figure here. The vertical dimensions are 4 centimeters. So to answer this, I'm just going to circle it because that's the vertical dimension there. So no sense in writing that twice. That's it for your lesson for today, guys. It was a pretty easy lesson. Now that we've covered all of the terminology for this week, tomorrow we're going to do an activity where we kind of throw all of this terminology together. And as promised on Monday, I'm going to teach you a little bit more about more complex quadrilaterals. We'll move away from rectangles and squares, and we're going to move into some fancier ones, kind of like trapezoids and parallelograms and other things like that. So we'll see you back here tomorrow for that, guys. Have a good day.